exactly are you supposed to call an escape room film about a room where you're not trying to escape? The lingering room? No, I mean, apparently it's the immaculate room, which mostly operates like an escape room narrative normally would, except it's more of a temptation thing. You're actually tasked this time with staying put. But can you do it for $5 million? It's an interesting question for an interesting installment in my escape room mechanics series. Let's get cracking. The Immaculate Room is ultimately about a couple played by Emile Hirsch and Kate Bosworth that are chosen to partake in staying in a special room called the titular Immaculate Room for 50 days in order to win $5 million. This so-called Immaculate Room is an all-white, spacious room that provides everything essential, such as clothing, bathing, bed, and food. But essentials doesn't exactly mean things you necessarily like. For instance, the food tastes like nothing, it just contains the vitamins and nutrients you need in order to survive. And throughout the course of their stay, their wills are tested with temptation and ghosts from the past that threaten the state of their current relationship status. Begging the question, is money really worth all of that? Similar to an escape room film, our leading protagonists find themselves in a room where they must use their wit to ultimately get back to freedom. But unlike an escape room, this room is not actually locked. They can leave anytime they so desire. But that also means forfeiting their millions, and the idea that all they have to do is wait 50 days to win $5 million, let's just say it's a hard pill to swallow to leave due to boredom or because you're losing your mind a little bit. But I honestly kind of understand that dilemma. Coincidentally, a few days before I decided that this was going to be my next film to watch for this series, I was reading an article about a special room found in Minneapolis, Minnesota, deemed the quietest room in the world, which challenges people to try it out for themselves. Most people can't even stay for more than 45 minutes because it makes them go mad a little bit. Their understanding of time gets really askew. They hear their own hearts beating. They hear their own bones creaking. And apparently some people begin to hallucinate under an hour's time. So can I believe staying in a room for 50 days can make you go a little nuts? Absolutely. Yes, I mean, the room is providing them with everything they need, but only the bare minimum, while it also tempts them with reasons to doubt each other and reasons to leave. It's actually a pretty interesting psychological thriller in that light. This is ultimately a film that asks the audience watching at home if they think that they'd be able to complete the same challenge without losing their sanity. Answering a wholehearted yes might actually be overestimating the power of what the human mind and soul needs in order to feel sane. And even though this movie is science fiction with a lot of over-the-top scenarios, the underlining messages still hold pretty true. And the performances by Emile Hirsch and Kate Bosworth are legitimately pretty strong. They got chemistry and charisma that shifts organically with the situation they find themselves in. They play people that feel normal and relatable going through life with elements of a tormented past that every now and again comes back to bite them in the butt. The real test of the relationship occurs with how the significant other responds to their sudden outflow of emotions, and especially compared to how they respond at the possibility of winning millions, and how those two either relate or don't relate at all. Overall, this film definitely has a great idea. The foundation's there, and a lot of the elements throughout the film works wonders. But I keep kind of going back to the thought in the back of my mind that there's just not enough here to make a full-length film. It works for what it is, yes, but it's lacking something. Instead, I would actually say that it feels more like a short film that just kind of keeps going and going and going. It's a fairly simple gimmick and idea at the end of the day, so theoretically this idea would actually work really well as a short film that was maybe half the length. I hate to say it, but there were elements of this film that left me as bored as the contestants in that room, watching the clock tick down, waiting for the next thing to essentially happen. So it's strange, you know? There's aspects that I think are great in this film, as well as aspects that I think could easily use a little bit more oomph. So ultimately, I find this more of a difficult film to rate because of that. The stuff that's good is honestly pretty darn good. The stuff that's not is kind of boring. They needed something more. Whenever I end up saying that, I end up saying the film has a fair amount of missed potential, and that's true. If I were the one making it, I'd easily shorten the film down or add either more temptations or twists or flashbacks or something. I'm not sure what's missing, but there's definitely something there that they could have done to help the overall pacing of the film. I'm going to be giving this a B- letter grade. So to me, it felt decent. I had a good enough time watching it. I also wouldn't mind rewatching it somewhere down the line. It has a fantastic, straightforward, easy to understand idea that maybe doesn't feel 100% original, but there's enough aspects going on in this film that do actually feel fresh, that there's still a desire to watch it. I don't know, guys, have you seen The Immaculate Room? Are you a fan of it? Are you a fan of films like this? Are you a fan of escape room mechanics type of movies? If you are, please leave in the comments down below what you thought about this movie. And as for YouTube, you guys know what to do. Hit the like, subscribe button, and bell to be notified when I come out with my next review. But until then, peace out.
Immaculate room where we're meant to stay, but the walls close in. Will we find our way with ghosts of the past and temptations to fight? In the immaculate room, can we survive?